Coming up, the boys are back in town. Join us as we dissect the final trailer for Amazon's hit show, The Boys. Stay tuned.
You one of us now?
Well, if you can't beat him, join him.
Welcome to the Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. I am your host, Arturo Padilla, and with me always is Mr. Nick Valdez. Before we get started, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, that thumbs up, and that bell. That way you know when all these videos are dropping. Tex, how you doing today, buddy?
Howdy, everybody. Howdy, Arturo. Man, let's hear it for the boys. let's give those boys a hand, Arturo. So the boys. Final season is here, season 5, Prime Video coming this April, and we have a lot coming to Prime Video over the next couple weeks. Invincible season 4, we got The Boys, we got Spider Noir coming. We just had Fallout season 2. Prime's on a run, and so the hope is that run can continue with the boys in this final season. We finally, like with this trailer too, their final trailer, we got the story for it, which is like kind of the biggest thing we were kind of wondering about. Like, what do you mean it's going to end? Like, it's that kind of thing, right? It's like, well, what do you mean? Like, what does the end even look like for the boys?
The comic books don't end; they just keep going. These people don't.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, you have Homelander taking over America, hitting a little too close to home in some cases. I think that's the thing, like that's also part of my reaction where I'm like, okay, like this unfortunately feels a little too real, a little too, maybe even old news in some ways.
That's been the trajectory, right? That's been the trajectory this show has been going in the last several seasons because of what the world is just putting on their laps. You know what I mean? Like, they're getting all this like information that they can, just make into a TV show, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
It's one of those things, right, where it's like you can't fault the show for doing the critique that it set out to do, right? It's one of those things where it's like, it's getting too real, and that's unfortunately.
But it's wild though. It's wild how natural that actually worked out for the show, because that
really did.
That is initially where this was actually heading. Before real life came into play, right? Like it was a divide between the soups and the boys, right? The boys are soup hunting, and the soups are, that their egos are overinflated with power and all this other nonsense, and they had to be, taken down. So sooner or later, we were gonna come to this point. But I think reality has added a level of spice to the show that cannot be faked. So I'm kind of glad it is happening the way it is, because it's good for the show. It sucks for us in the real world, but
great
that's for the show.
That's one of those things, right? Where it's like, political commentary aside, one way or the other, you're watching it, you're like, oh, that they got that from the real world. And that's where it's like, oh, that element of it stings when you're watching it. That is a dark cloud, but it's also not the show's fault, right? It's one of those things where it's like you kind of just have to watch it with that open mind and like be fully entertained. And hopefully the thing we're all hoping, and from the beginning, The Boys has always been about like trying to rebel against these like ultra powerful beings. So hopefully this ends with hope. I know it's been the other way, and that's also why we watch The Boys, why so many people watch it, because like so many brutal things happen and so many wild things. But we also kind of hope that it works out for Huey and the others. You know what I mean? Like we're watching it and hoping that like the boys save the day, whatever that looks like. Right?
I don't know how, right? I don't know how.
Yes,
like
yes.
When we left The Boys in season 5, Bill the Butcher had taken this V compound, but like a massive amount of it, where it gave him superpowers. The dude's like Vecna now in this trailer, just like tentacles flying out everywhere, which is dope. So he has like this Venom symbiote kind of power.
It's basically Venom at this
point.
It's
Venom.
Right?
Venom, Vecna, Jace.
he basically got Venom's powers, but in the Boys universe. So like, it's like this big parasite, whatever like realistic spin they put on it. It's Venom, right? And so with that, not only that, in the trailer we learned that, you know, Homelander is going after a version of Compound V that'll make him much stronger and harder to kill.
Immortal,
and then
they say.
Yes, yeah, they say immortal. Those are the words, specific word used. Then we have Soldier Boy coming back from that previous season because Homelander needs him. He probably needs it as like an equal measure against the boys, right? That's the thing. This is a full-on, yes, you know, yes, Homelander and the Supes are taking over America, but then you have this bigger, like, you have the boys who are like not only at their biggest group yet, but like you've got characters from Gen V showing up. You've got Marie Moreau here who was teased in Gen V to be like, yo, like she can actually mess with blood to the point where like she could be the key to beating Homelander. And are we getting a Gen V season 3? Like, does this go anywhere? Right? Like, this is so many questions, and like it's all kind of, you know, it. I guess it's part of the fun of the trailer too, where it's like it feels like the end game trailer, right? Where it's like it feels like we're finally heading into whatever end game the show is planning. We're gonna see like some big consequences. You know, that's the thing, is like the boys have made it to this final season, but like, are they gonna make it to the end alive? Like, are we getting the full, like, it's a big lineup, dude, right? And we've got a lot of episodes coming. So like, yo, and there's a lot of Supes, and it's a war for a reason, right? And you know, who's going to make it to the end of the show? Like, who gets the happy ending? What? That's the question too, right, Arturo? Like, what
if there is a happy ending for any of them, right?
What? Yes. What is the end, right?
Because
like, what do you...
like it's wild, man. These people have gone through some crazy ish throughout the last 5 seasons.
Yes.
And now it's culminating here, where, as Tex was mentioning, it's literally like a war about to start in this season, where Homelander is finally realizing where his place is, right? Where he should be, right?
Yeah.
In the trailer, we get a nice little scene of him in the White House, just sitting by himself, or in the Oval Office. I think that's where we're headed here in this season. A very Lex Luthor kind of angle going there, putting the Supe in powers there, in the White House, I should say, in the proper power of the country. And man, it's honestly, it's gonna be wild. Every time I think about the boys and what to expect, it always exceeds expectations. Whether it's visually, whether it's storyline wise, it's never disappointed. And I think it's gonna continue elevating itself every episode, being that this is the final season. I don't think they're gonna pull any punches. I think every episode they're gonna come hard with like revelatory kind of things in the story, and it's going to be great for everyone involved, especially us here at the Morgue, who we love the boys and we love reviewing the boys and talking about it with you guys. And I think this season, man, it's going to be special. This has been crazy how this show has been that successful under Amazon, under a streaming platform that no one thought, like, you know, Amazon shows this is like, whatever, it's not Netflix, you know what I mean? But it's like, hey, lately these shows have been pretty top notch. I remember going on a rant a couple episodes ago about the quality of Amazon's TV shows, right? We mentioned we have Invincible coming out, we have The Boys, right? We had Fallout, as Tex mentioned, just shows that are, first of all, genre, right in our wheelhouse. And second of all, they are pumping money into these shows, making them look good, whether it's practical, whether it's CGI. The Boys is full of CGI, and it always looks really great, man. And just them understanding that they have to continue that bar and that quality, it's what makes the show so good. And this is why we are at a season 6. There are a slew of shows on streaming platforms, whether it's on Prime or on Netflix, that get canceled after 1 or 2 seasons. But here we are in the 6th season of this wild concept of a show, right? An evil Justice League of Jays, pretty much. And we're at the final, stretch here, close to the finish line. And I'm very excited to see what they have in store for us. Because like I said, I have never been disappointed. And every time this show ends, we're always like, Holy crap.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's tough because like for as stacked as Prime is, the boys season 5 is really hitting in the middle of like this kind of very packed spring for Prime, right? And like because we just got off Fallout, like we literally like just talked about this maybe like a couple weeks ago. Invincible's hitting, and like Invincible's gonna finish up just as like this one's starting, and then like this one's going to air while like Spider Noir also hits. And so that's kind of the worry, is that it's a kind of like a double-edged sword with Prime's programming, right? Where it's like, yes, these are all great shows and these are all like shows we want to see in action, but it's like, okay, which ones are we going to remember ultimately? And The Boys final season, it kind of plays with that problem a little bit. It kind of dances around it, where it's like, it's the final one, so we're inherently more interested. But that's the thing, it's like if the new season of Invincible kind of hits harder, we might be talking about that more. If Spider Noir ends up being like just an overall better show, we might end up talking about that one more. And this is a problem that the boys will have to face down the line. It's we'll talk about this when we get to like our review of like the full season and check it out, of course, all that stuff. But this is all to say, just like something to keep in the back of our minds, is the way things Arturo and I do here is we offer our critiques of the project itself, but then we also try to like add a little bit of like, okay, what is its place in legacy? Like, what is its legacy in terms of other programs, the genre, right? Like, and this is why we talk about like, oh, it's placed on Prime Video, what it means. And so like when we get all these shows, is The Boys final season, is it going to hit, or are we dealing with like another Stranger Things season 5, right? And that's
a great point.
That's the thing. It's like, this is also just a big question that just, now's the perfect time to talk about it, right? Where it's like, we don't know anything about the show, right? We haven't seen the season yet, and we're going to see it. But it's like, heading in, it's like, okay, where is this going to be, right? Like, are we dealing with a good final season? Because that's, it's rare. TV shows can knock it out of the park with their final seasons.
I mean, or you can be Lost or Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
And be absolute dog shit at the end there. You know what I mean? So
yes, exactly. Like, yes,
you brought up a good point, Tex. This is gonna be coming up against some heavy competition in its own platform and in other platforms, because Daredevil season 2 is about to start on Disney Plus at the end of this month. So it's another thing on top of that in the same vein, in the same superhero vein. You know what I mean? So competition is there, but we love competition here at the Morgue. I think it's good. I think it's good for everybody, because at least we have the content. Remember back in 2020 when we didn't have any of this content?
Yeah, so, like we would have loved to have 5 different superhero shows airing all in the same month. Like, but now, yes.
But then again, to your point though, yes, we can have 5 superhero shows at the same time. We're gonna have several, right? We're gonna have Daredevil, The Boys, Invincible, right? So that's 3 superhero shows at the same time. But you brought up a good point. This is The Boys' last season. We're all hands on deck for season 4, right? Yeah. And then on top of that, we have, as Tex mentioned, Spider Noir, another superhero show, right?
Yeah.
And then we have Daredevil Born Again season 2, another superhero show. So that said, this is exactly like going back to the beginning of the show, folks. This is exactly like walking into the comic book store. What are you going to pick up, and what is going to actually work for you? The Boys might not work for some people and they go to Daredevil. Daredevil might not work for somebody, go to Invincible, and vice versa. So I am really, really, really curious to see what unfolds in this final season of The Boys. It has been such an exciting last 4 or 5 years, whatever it is, with Carl Urban and his ragtag group of superhero hunters. And it's been fun seeing Homelander and his group of soups just go corrupt. And they have to end this with a bang, honestly. Like, it has to be a big, dude.
Yeah, because like Arturo brings up a great point. Like, it being a final season kind of means that they're not going to hold back anymore. They're not going to, it really is going to be all hands on deck kind of situation. And, you know, while it doesn't have the benefit of being a first impression, right? Like, you know, Spider Noir, like, let's say we end up liking that more, right? Just as an example, but it's because maybe it's the newer, shinier thing that we're drawn to, right? Like, the boys unfortunately cannot have that. It won't have that benefit of being the first time we've seen it. Yeah. But it can win that favor by just being like completely for the fans who've watched it all this time, right? Like, that's the thing. It's like, as a final season, you don't have to appeal to anybody else anymore. It's literally for those people like us at this point. You know, we've watched all the other seasons. We watched Gen V, you know, we're going to watch this one to see how it all ends, dude. Like, that's all you kind of have to do. You know, you don't have to be bigger than you are, Stranger Things. You know, you don't have to be bigger. You can just be the end of your story for your fans. You know?
Yeah, that's a great point, man. That is a great point. I'm glad you brought up Stranger Things, because that one didn't end as good as we expected it to. But
yeah, and look how we remember it.
Yeah,
look how we remember it. That's the thing, right? It's this a final season. It, like, that kind of can kill the legacy of the show. If the final season does not hit, look at Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I was just gonna say that. Like, that is the most perfect example of this situation. Like, excellent previous 6 to 7.5 seasons, right?
Incredible television. Yeah, it was legitimately appointment television.
Must see TV.
Yes.
Every Sunday night, everyone would shut off all their socials so they wouldn't get any kind of spoilers. And then what we got in season 8, and then the Starbucks cup fiasco on top of that, production, you can tell they just stopped giving a hoot completely at the end of that show.
Yes,
hopefully it's not the case here, man.
It's like going into a crowd. Like, you can go to an award show, be dressed in the fanciest suit, get all the praise in the world, win an award, right? You can win an award, make a big speech, but if you fart on the way off the stage, all people are going to remember is the fart. You know, all people are going to smell is the stink.
They are not going to remember. Became a shart in your career, you know?
Yes, that's all people are going to remember from whatever you did before. So
buddies, we hope season 5 of The Boys isn't a big old shart.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been The Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. I am your host, Arturo Padilla, and with me always is Mr. Nick Valdez. Big shout out goes to you guys out there for listening and for watching. We have all these episodes and more on our YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast streams. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Drop a review, drop some stars. We would highly appreciate it. Big shout out goes to Delvirus for all the artwork you've seen in front of you throughout the years. And last but not least, never forget, it is a scary world out there, but we are here to walk you through it.